Magic Masses! I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. A Night at the Roxbury was a very good show at the Mecca, the real Magic Kingdom, in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. The event kicks off with a triple threat match for the Tag Team Championship where one representative of each tag team had to be in the ring at all times, and they can only tag their partner. So an interesting twist put on this triple threat match as we saw the Princes of the Universe, Matt Mechanic, Eric Corvus, and Explosive Eddie Thomas versus the Disciple, Brandon Downey, and Lugosi. And as those two teams challenged Dave McCall and Nate Wallace, the rep for the Tag Team Championship. Pretty good matchup, and early, just before they all made contact, Corvus made light of Downey, saying, "You're the Disciple? That was Brutus the Barber Beefcake." Anybody feel old hearing that reference? Because that was over 20-something years ago. And I gotta say, Explosive Eddie Thomas, he and Corvus both were from the early days of JEP, Jersey All Pro Wrestling. I missed that promotion. Although both Thomas and Corvus were from the Bayonne, the early 2000s, pretty much, I guess, the Bayonne years, shall we say. Because I think Eddie had quit the business, and Corvus, he eventually ended up quitting as well and took a break and came back. Unless I'm mistaken, he did quit and come back. Match was pretty good. The rep defeat the Prince of the Universe and the Disciple Brandon Downey and Lugosi at 12 minutes 37 seconds to retain the Tag Team Championship. But then our general manager, ring announcer Shane Fair, he congratulates the rep on the victory and tells him, you managed to win a triple threat match. But on March 15th at Revenge of the Nerds, 10 Years of Magic Part 1, you're going to defend the Tag Team Championship against Mateo Marcelos, and making his return, Tiberius Asante. Also in that match will be Ricky Price and Junie Underwood, Smash and Burn. And the fourth tag team, the American Gangster, Isaiah Wolf, and Ruthless Lala, representing Prolific. So, in case you haven't followed all that, the rep are defending in a four-way matchup on March 15th at Revenge of the Nerds, 10 Years of Magic Part 1. Alright. And right after that announcement, Isaiah Wolf and Ruthless Lala come out and the rep leave the ring, and we get on with the next match, which sees Isaiah Wolf take on V. Daniel. Forgot what happened. Oh, actually, Elijah Eden, he comes out and he's trying to get V motivated, and Eden and Lala, they're kind of like arguing, and the referee goes outside. Wolf has the match won, but the rep come out, and I believe it was Dave McCall. One of them hit Wolf from behind with the tag team belt, and V. Daniel climbing the top rope, and I don't know if it was a splash he hit. V. Daniel defeats Isaiah Wolf at 9 minutes, 43 seconds, and Eden comes in the ring and congratulates V, and I don't know where that's going, unless they're going to split those two up again. Well, not again, but, Project Mayhem. Okay. Up next, it was another championship matchup as we saw making his in-ring Pro Wrestling Magic debut. Big Cuzzo, accompanied the ring by Chris Cage and Johnny Santos, as he challenged the finisher, Steve Pena, for the Dark Arts Championship. Good hard-hitting affair that those two were having. It got to the point where Pena kept putting the sleeper hold on Cuzzo. Cuzzo was ramming Pena into the corner, but Pena put the sleeper back on him. Eventually, Santos and Cage, they hit the ring, and the referee stops the match and pretty much declares Pena the winner by disqualification at 9 minutes 2 seconds to retain the Dark Arts Championship. So while Santos, Cage, and Cuzzo are doing a number on Pena. Out comes the good guy, Azrael, with the key to the kingdom that he won back at Kingdom Come in December. And he exercised the key to challenge Pena for the Dark Arts title right then and there. And Azrael defeats the finisher Steve Pena at 11 seconds to win the Dark Arts Championship. Next match was set to see Mateo Marcelos and Bruno El Oso Blanco, accompanied by Tony Ice, as they did battle with Mayor Scumbag City, John Tella, and a mystery partner. And the mystery partner turned out to be the 2025 Chad Adams Memorial Rumble winner, Smiley. Match was on, and John Tella and Smiley defeat Mateo Marcelos and Bruno El Oso Blanco at 5 minutes 4 seconds. After the match, Bruno and Tella are going at it out on the floor, and their general manager, ring announcer Shane Fair, he says to Bruno and Tella, I think we need you guys keep tearing each other apart and want to hurt each other. I said I'm going to talk to Anthony Iavito about a stipulation, but one thing is going to happen. It's going to be a heavyweight title fast pass. The winner would get a shot at the heavyweight championship. And that's happening March 15th as well, at Revenge of the Nerds 10 Years of Magic Part 1. So there you go, John Tella versus Bruno El Oso Blanco one more time, folks. Up next, it's women's action, as we saw Vicky Venuto, formerly known as Vicious Vicky, take on Tiffany Avatar. I think it was it before the match got started? Out came women's champion Rebecca J. Scott, as she was over at the commentation station. And the match was on, and eventually Vicky gets a chair and brings it into the ring and hits Avatar with it, causing Avatar to become the winner defeat Venuto at 3 minutes 59 seconds by disqualification. And I forgot to mention, this was a fast pass for the women's championship, so Tiffany Avatar would get a shot at the women's belt. Vicky gets the microphone and she goes on and says, "Yeah, I had a breakdown." And says the reason I didn't leave is because I love this shit so much. And she ran down Rebecca saying the women's champion that never shows up. And Rebecca leaves the commentation station and she goes to she and Vicky, they go at it, and I see young boy Lawrence and another young man, pulling the ladies apart, and Vicky eventually leaves the ring. Our general manager, ring announcer Shane Fair, he announces, Tiffany, you've got the fast pass, but what I'm going to do is, Vicky, you and Rebecca can go at it for the women's title on March 15th, and Tiffany, you got the fast pass, you'll get your opportunity at the women's title at Superbad on Saturday, April 12th, which will be Superbad is the 10 Years of Magic Part 2. So, not everybody's happy, but you get the point there, folks. But Avatar gets her title shot in April. Okay, up next, out comes Indestructible Steve Off with heel son Luke, the Off Army, and El Rotundo Magnifico. And Steve was no pun intended when I say it's safe to say that Steve went off in terms of what he had to say to everyone. And he mentions that the pandemic occurred. He mentioned he had anxiety and depression that nearly killed him. And he and he's saying about Vinny Pacifico, I don't even get a text saying what's up. And, he said, I signed the checks around here. Like I said, once again, no pun intended when I say Steve went off. And then Vinny Pacifico comes out, and he goes after Off in the ring, and Steve leaves the ring, and he takes the microphone. He says to Vinny, you're challenging for the Junior Heavyweight Championship tonight. He says, you know what? If you win that belt, I'll sit my ass home March 15th. But if you lose... He said, but if you lose, you're suspended next month. And out comes the Plexusist Troy Locke, and the Junior Heavyweight Championship match gets underway. Can't remember if Steve Off interfered or not. I can't remember how this one ended. But folks, definitely watch this one on IWTV if you missed this show. Troy Locke defeats Vinny Pacifico at 8 minutes 40 seconds to retain the Junior Heavyweight Championship. And as a result, Vinny will not be a part of March 15th's event. He's suspended. And I believe Pacifico and Steve Off are going to go one-on-one at Superbad on Saturday, April 12th, unless I'm mistaken. Then it was time for the main event. As newly crowned Dark Arts champion, Azriel I forgot who was it. Chris Cage who accompanied him to the ring. Took on challenged heavyweight champion, the Revolver, Alex Ryman. No, I'm sorry, I think it was Cage and Johnny Santos accompanied Azriel to the ring for this one. Good match these guys had. Eventually, kind of got chaotic because we had, I think, didn't Cage and Santos, I don't know if they attempted to interfere. Yeah, attempted to interfere. But Brandon Downey and Lugosi went after them. All of a sudden, Mateo Marcelos and Trixie. Yeah, I forgot to mention this, folks. After the Tella Smiley Mateo Bruno match, Trixie came out on the apron and she's like got, I don't know what was coming out of her mouth, and it ended up on the ramp. She's now apparently a part of Mateo's group. I still can't remember the name of it right now. That happened after the Tella Smiley versus Mateo Bruno match. But Trixie and Mateo, they were in the crowd. Smiley, I noticed, also was in the crowd, and he's, of course, gets the title shot at March 15th for winning the Chad Adams Rumble back in January. Bruno, also Blanco, was standing at the top of the stage, and Ryman takes the microphone and can't really remember what he said. But in the end, Alex Ryman, he ended up defeating Azriel at 16 minutes 42 seconds to retain the heavyweight championship and ending a great night of action. Well, personal notes, it was nice meeting John of the Front Row Mafia Indie Wrestling Junkies. That's a mouthful. I don't know if that was the other guy right next to him that I also met. Great seeing Sherry Ann, and once again a happy birthday to her son Mikey. Bruno of the Cuban Hype Men. And also, surprisingly, after I got done eating at Dante's before the show, I'm walking over and I see Bill Parham, Jason Bob 87, Elliot, and Michelle. They had come from just came from the 7-Eleven, and the five of us entered the room together. It turned out the four of them was right next to my seat. What a shocker that was. Okay. Pete Ryman was not vendoring this time. Great seeing Shane Fair, of course. Danielle D'Adamo was there. The crowd wasn't as big as Coming to America last month, and I can tell you, I mean, just going into a night at the Roxbury, which I'm going over here, going into this, I knew it wouldn't top Coming to America last month. But there was, not to mention, good-looking ladies in the crowd, especially those who were at that table, I guess, working the door, shall we say. Had the list of those who purchased tickets online. Jimmy Riot was not part of the commentation station. I guess he had to miss this particular show. Oh, another thing, Front Row Mikey? Yes, the entrance music status is going to be, well, not status, but, that thread, shall we say, is going to be updated due to other people coming out to particular songs and such. But anybody, Azriel, does anybody know Azriel's entrance music? I tried Shazamming it. It wasn't available. It didn't work. Okay. La 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 la. No pun intended to the ruthless one. What else can I think of for this show? I mean, the show ended, wow, was it 8:30 or close to 8:30 this one ended? Thing is, I guess due to the weather, that's probably why the crowd wasn't too big either. Fernando from the Cuban Hype Men. I know you're probably still having yourself a proverbial cream fest over the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl. We need you to come back, man. Maybe that's why we haven't had ourselves a Magic Masses portrait for this show that I'm going over, as well as Coming to America last month. But we need you to come back, man. Maybe, considering the match is already announced, and I'll get to that shortly, maybe you'll come back very soon. I noticed on there are ticket links for every Pro Wrestling Magic event here in 2025. For, the ticket links are up for every show. But I noticed Kingdom Come 10, which is entitled Christmas Vacation, but that's happening later this year in December. That's gonna start 6 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock? Anybody can clarify that, other than the fact that it's listed as 6 o'clock right now? Let's see. Oh, I don't know if it was during the first match or before the first match got underway. Jason spilled some of his big gulp drink on his seat, and yeah, it was, and even I couldn't help but say, Botchamania. From there, but I said again, Jason, you did clean that seat up quite nicely. Okay. Some memorable quotes. Fuck you, Bruno. Shane Fair at Bruno of the Cuban Hype Man, who I forgot who he was saying. He said, fuck somebody or fuck you to somebody. That's what Bruno of the Cuban Hype Man said, and I just quoted Shane Fair. Oh, another quote. Oversell me through my megaphone at Jason Bob 87 when he was took a hit from Elliot from behind, and he went down to a knee and held onto his chair. La la la. No pun intended again to the ruthless one. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Pro Wrestling Magic returns Saturday, March 15th, as they present Revenge of the Nerds 10 Years of Magic, Part 1, which is going to be a two-show event. On March 15th, already announced, we have The Rep defending the Tag Team Championship against Smash and Burn, Isaiah Wolf and Ruthless Lala, and Mateo Marsolis and Tiberius Asante. And I forgot to mention this, Shane Fair also made official. Newly crowned Dark Arts champion, the good guy, Azriel, will defend his newly won Dark Arts title against, making his return, the freshly Trey Felipe, making his return, the Brooklyn Outlaw Donovan, and two-time former Dark Arts champion, the finisher, Steve Pena. From there, Vicky Venuto will challenge Rebecca J. Scott for the Women's Championship. Bruno El Oso Blanco won with John Tella for a heavyweight title fast pass. And speaking of the heavyweight championship, the Revolver Alex Ryman defends his championship against Smiley. So, let's see. No word yet on who Troy Locke's going to face for the junior heavyweight title. And I don't know what other matches they may have, or well, they'll probably work on it between now and March 15th. But also on Saturday, April 12th, it's Super Bad 10 Years of Magic Part 2 already set for that night. Tiffany Avatar will challenge the women's champion, whoever she will be, on April 12th. And I'm guessing the winner of the John Tella Bruno match will get their shot at the heavyweight belt on April 12th. But I believe April 12th is already Vinny Pacifico against Steve Off, unless I'm wrong. Ooh, okay. Oh, and also, I guess it also, wish there was a better way for me to get to these shows and stuff, because I had to wait it was like a half-hour wait for the bus to go back to New York City. Oh, Bruno of the Cuban Hype Men. I don't know who that lady was next to you. Not the one that was like screaming and shouting throughout the show. I'm talking about the lady who you said watches my YouTube videos. I mean, if you watched my recent karaoke video, I wonder which song she thought I did best at. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this review. Revenge of the Nerd, once again, Saturday, March 15th. Revenge of the Nerds, 10 Years of Magic Part 1. Wow. Pro Wrestling Magic has been around for 10 years already. Well, it's the 10th anniversary show, so for 10 years of Magic. Wow. Not many indie promotions could say they made it that long. So I'm sure that one is going to be magical.